What's going on? What's going on? It is your boy Smooth Blaze, and I would like to welcome you to the Blueprint, aligning the spirit to conquer the natural. Session 1, Part 1. Now, before we get into these major points for this week, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Also, select that notification bell and hit all so you would not miss one video. Now for this week, we're going to look into the idea of how to maintain spiritual and worldly balance. That's the question for today. How do we know and how do we train ourselves to do that? Some examples of life where you need to have balance in are having education and experience in order to get a promotion at a job. That's one example. Another example will be dealing with maintaining a diet and working out, because you can eat healthy, but if you're not putting in the extra effort and energy into exercising, going to the gym, honestly, you will be stagnant at one point. And another example would be feeding your flesh and feeding your spirit every day, meaning that as much as you take care of your physical health and as much you eat properly, you got to make sure your spirit is intact so that you can do all these things. And just from looking at all these examples, the biggest thing that came to mind was the idea of defining exactly what balance is. What I've discovered to be the best way to define balance as it pertains to balance with spirituality as well as worldly things deal with an even distribution of weight, enabling someone or something to refrain upright and steady. Meaning that if you want to have a balanced life and have a life that is worth having purpose, you have to make sure that you're instilling the spiritual side into your life. Your spirituality is very important, but you got to be able to move right in the world so that you can be able to advance and do things that you want to and hit those points where you want to. But as I reflect over this definition, over these examples, one thing that I noticed and one thing that I realized is that I use some of these techniques in order to keep myself rounded. And here are a couple examples that I use. They're not necessarily for you. It's just some things that I use in my toolbox that allows me to get to the point where I can become the best version. First thing, keep alignment with your relationship with God. That's always important. Make sure He is number one above all things, because He opens doors and allows you to get things done on a different level. So He has favor in your life, meaning that you can move in different places. Other people can't. That's number one. 2, as you play the game of life, make sure you master it. In other words, whatever space or whatever season that you're in currently, whatever job, from a job perspective, from a spiritual, from working at the church, whatever you're doing, master what it is. Look at the game plan. See what you are required to do. And not only that, dominate and master that aspect of it until God opens the next door for you. Always keep that in mind. Number 3, make sure you have the credentials and experience that will speak for you. Meaning that, let's just keep it honest. When you have credentials plus experience, can't nobody stop you from doing anything. And the idea is to allow your persona to bring confidence and bring that worldly side of, look, I know what I can do, and these are the examples of how I've done it. And also I have the head knowledge to balance that. So that makes perfect sense. You have to have that alignment. Now, number 4, maintain your diet and workout to ensure that you are prepared for this life's journey. Because this is not a sprint, this is a marathon. So you got to take care of your health. You got to work out. You got to make sure that you are conditioned from a mentality perspective and from a physical side so that you'll be prepared to do the things. And God knows that you'll be ready for these aspects of your life. And number 5, prioritize your peace and your mental health. Meaning that Sometimes you got to cut off your phone. You got to get away from people. You got to have time to yourself in order to keep your sanity and your peace. And mental health is very essential. If your mind is going 19 miles an hour, you can't focus on one thing. You can't think straight. Allow yourself to get away from people and things in order for you to become the best version of yourself. Now, last but not least, number 6, make sure your actions are in line with what God is expecting from you. When you align your actions with what God has got coming from you, man, look, there is nothing you cannot do. So don't allow anybody to tell you aligning your actions with God is not going to take you to the place where you need to go. So as I reflect over all these techniques, and if you like these things, just take time, write them out and figure out what bet works best for you and use them interchangeably. But before we go, I would like to say thank you for taking the time out to listen to my video, because at the end of the day, it's about me helping you and me growing within my walk with God. So at the end of the day, we're going to find a way to master our spirituality and dominate in this world so we can conquer any and everything. But make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell and select all. And remember, this is your boy, Smooth Blaze. And before we go, I want one thing for you to remember. We cannot control the hand that was dealt for us, but we can move with a purpose. It's your boy, Smooth Blaze, and I'm signing out. Peace.